Now the next in our women's section, that is the ladies corner, we have healthy tips. Okay. Now we have Lakshmi Mami meeting Mrs. Christie in a park, and they are meeting after a lot of months, and they find each other so very what to say, interesting, because Lakshmi Mami has been keeping up her health and her profile so very good and active. Whereas Mrs. Christie is so, she is feeling so old and she has to walk with a stick. Without a stick she finds it difficult to walk. She has developed arthritis and all sorts of problems which makes her very difficult to walk. And when she questions Mrs. Lakshmi Mami, Mrs. Lakshmi says that she is into walking exercises every day. She takes a regular walk in the park, then she meditates for at least half an hour, and then she does half an hour of yoga, that is pranayama. Pranayama is nothing but breathing exercise, taking in good oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide in a very rhythmic pattern, and also cutting down a lot of oil in her food and sugar and salt in her food, and eating a nutritious diet. All this has kept our Lakshmi Mami, who is 65 years old, to look like a 50-year-old lady. Whereas our Mrs. Christie, she is also around that age, 65 years of age, but she looks like as though she is 70 plus. So, shall we meet both of them and see what they are going to talk now? It may be very helpful to you too. Okay. Okay, here we go to Mrs. Lakshmi, health tips. Okay, and Mrs. Christie. And they are meeting at a park. Mrs. Christie has come to the park after a long time, and she meets Mrs. Lakshmi, and she is so surprised to see her staying so fit and energetic. Hello, Lakshmi. Lakshmi Mami, I will write. How are you? You look ten years younger. I'm sure you must be around 60 now. Isn't it? Then Mrs. Lakshmi says, I'll just write it a little. Mrs. Lakshmi. Hi, Christie. It's a long time since I saw you. At the park. Well, I'm now 65 years old. And Mrs. Christie says, I'll just write Mrs. C. 65? Wow, you don't look so. Okay, wow, you don't look so. You don't look, I'll just say, you don't look 65 at all. You look so energetic. So energetic. Energetic means very active, okay? Energetic and active. How do you manage that? How do you manage that? And Mrs. Lakshmi says, I'll just write Mrs. C and Mrs. L. Oh, that's that's very easy. It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind, you see. Moreover, I take a walk every day. See, walking is a very good exercise. You needn't even have to go to a gym, or you need not do any aerobic exercise. If you just walk for 1 hour or at least half an hour every day, it keeps you trim. Moreover, I take a walk every day for let's say half an hour. And meditate for another half an hour. And immediately Mrs. Christie is filled with awe. Okay, says, really? Really? That's That's great. I should also try all these. Well, what kind of food do you eat? What kind of food do you eat? And Mrs. Lakshmi says, I prefer vegetarian food. Okay, she eats only vegetarian. She's Lakshmi Mami, so she is a vegetarian. So I prefer vegetarian food. And I avoid, okay, I just take less oil, in my food, less oil, salt and sugar in my food. Mrs. Christie. I think that's the reason why you stay so healthy. If only, now she is regretting because she looks a little oldish and she is not able to walk so fast and all. She is just telling, if only I had been strict in my diet and exercise, I would not have half my ailments. Ailments means health problems. So Mrs. Lakshmi says, don't worry, even now it's not too late. Okay, let me finish my walk. Bye. and and she goes away, for which even Miss Christie says bye and they part. Okay. So, this is just a conversation to show you, even when you grow old at the age of 65, you can maintain good health and you can look so fit and energetic and active, lively, cheerful, all this. Moreover, she also says it's all in the mind. If your mind is preoccupied with all unwanted things, you tend to become tensed and old. Okay, you get pressure and all that. But if you are active, cheerful, if your mind is always thinking good for others, then you are going to be a healthy person. Moreover, you can follow all these health tips. Now, what are the health tips that you have got here? Your mind must be clear and good, think good about others. Then what else? You have to go for a walk at least half an hour. See, younger generation, you can go for 1 hour a day, whereas an elderly person can walk for half an hour a day. So, every day half an hour walk and half an hour meditation. When you meditate, your mind is clear and you just control all your problems, everything. Your mind is set free from all the problems and tensions in your life. And what else? Food habits also. Most probably, if you have vegetarian food after a certain age, it helps you. If you have non-vegetarian food, too much of non-vegetarian food after a certain age, you develop cholesterol and BP and all that. Okay, so vegetarian food and less oil, salt and sugar in your food. This always keeps you healthy, and exercise and food will keep you a very healthy person. So, these are the health tips, and shall we check the dialogue now? Mrs. Christie. Mrs. Christie and Lakshmi are friends. They are meeting after a long time, and Mrs. Christie is surprised to see Miss Lakshmi just like that, and she thinks that she must be around 60 years old, whereas she is 65 and she looks 10 years younger. Okay. Mrs. Christie, hello Lakshmi Mami, how are you? You look 10 years younger. I am sure you must be 60 years, isn't it? And Mrs. Lakshmi says, hi Christie, it's a long time since I saw you at the park, because Miss Christie doesn't have the habit of walking. She doesn't come to the park at all. Well, I am now 65 years old. Miss Christie, 65? Wow, you don't look 65 at all. You look so energetic and active. How do you manage that? Mrs. Lakshmi says, oh, that's very easy. It's all in the mind, you see. Moreover, I take a walk every day for half an hour and meditate for another half an hour. Mrs. Christie says, really? That's great. I should also try all these. Well, what kind of food do you eat? And Mrs. Lakshmi says, I prefer vegetarian food. I just take less oil, salt and sugar in my food. I think that's the reason why you stay so healthy. So, Miss Christie says, I think that's the reason why you stay so healthy. If only I had been strict in my diet and exercise, I would not have half my ailments. And for which Miss Lakshmi says, don't worry, even now it's not too late. It's never late, okay? Better late than never, they say. Even now it's not too late. Okay, let me finish my walk, bye. And for which Miss Christie also says bye, and they part. Okay, it's not the lesson that you learn from Lakshmi Mami. You can also inculcate all these habits, walking every day and meditating and eating nutritious food, okay, with less oil and less sugar and less salt. You can avoid BP, cholesterol, diabetes, everything, and you can stay healthy. Okay, I am sure these health tips are very useful to you and you are going to follow all this.